The Beatles, the band that redefined music, revolutionized culture, and sparked some of the most infamous controversies in rock history. From groundbreaking album covers to candid interviews, and the mind-bending influences of psychedelics, the Beatles were no strangers to pushing boundaries and stirring debate. The shocking Butcher cover of 1966. What were the Beatles trying to say? And why did it cause such an uproar? John Lennon's explosive statement, "We're more popular than Jesus now." How did these words ignite a firestorm across the world? And Paul McCartney's candid admission about LSD use. How did this revelation change the public's perception of the band forever? Join us as we dive into the controversies that rocked the world, fueled their creativity, and cemented the Beatles' legacy as true pioneers of the modern era. This is the start of our new series, The Beatles, Controversy or Countercultural. John Lennon's "bigger than Jesus" statement is one of the most infamous and controversial moments in the Beatles' history. Here's a detailed overview of the incident, its context, and its aftermath. The statement was made by John Lennon during an interview with the British journalist Maureen Cleave. It was part of How Does a Beatle Live? And it was a series published in the London Evening Standard in 1966. Lennon's exact words were, "Christianity will go, it will vanish and shrink. I needn't argue about that. I'm right, and I will be proved right. We're more popular than Jesus now. I don't know which will go first, rock and roll or Christianity." The statement initially caused little stir in the UK, where it was published without significant backlash. The context of Lennon's remark was seen as commentary on the decline of religion among young people in the modern world. The controversy erupted when the interview was published in the American teen magazine Datebook in July of 1966, just before the Beatles' US tour. The quote was taken out of context and highlighted on the magazine's cover, leading to widespread outrage, particularly in the Bible Belt of the United States. Many Christian groups and radio stations called for a boycott of the Beatles. In some areas, there were public burnings of the Beatles' records and memorabilia. Radio stations across the US, particularly in the South, stopped playing Beatles songs. Some DJs organized Beatle bonfires where fans could burn their records and memorabilia.
This is the Leighton and Charles Show on Wacky Radio, broadcasting at 12:20 on your dial until about 9 o'clock this morning. And we'd like to urge you to take your Beatle records and your Beatle mania to any one of our 14 pickup points anywhere in Birmingham, Alabama. And don't forget the destruction of those Beatle records will take place in just a few days, and we'll keep you informed on all of that.
The Beatles held a press conference in Chicago on August 11th, 1966, at the start of their US tour. Lennon attempted to clarify his comments, expressing regret for any offense caused. Lennon explained,
"Yeah, it's just straight like that. I can't imagine that, how it got the other way, except for if it had said television is more popular than Jesus, I might have got away with it, in reference to England, that we meant more to kids than Jesus did, or religion at that time. I wasn't knocking it or putting it down, I was just saying it as a fact. And it is true, especially more for England than here. Saying that we're better or greater, or comparing us with Jesus Christ as a person, or God as a thing, or whatever it is. I just said what I said and it was wrong, or was taken wrong, and now it's all this. Easier to raise flagging popularity, I don't know. You can think of stunts. We don't do stunts. I think we've done one in our lives that's been completely a stunt.
But anyway, that's not the kind of thing that's
I am, yes, even though it's not, I never meant what people think I meant by it. I'm still sorry I opened my mouth.
Can we talk about your music a little bit? You've gone a long way from I think we're just trying to move it in a forward direction. And this is the point, this is why we're getting in all these messes with saying things. Because, we're just trying to move forward. And people seem to be trying to just sort of hold us back and not want us to say anything that's vaguely sort of, inflammatory. I mean, we won't, if people don't want that, then we won't do it. We'll sort of just do it privately. But I think it's better for everyone if we're just honest about the whole thing.
The controversy married the Beatles' 1966 US tour. They faced protests and threats, leading to heightened security and tense situations at many tour stops.
Whether you like your detail or whether you do not like your detail, we hope that you will treat any teenager with all respect that is possible.
Now, you officers that are stationed in front of the stage behind the barricade, you will go to Mr. Morris Shapiro, the first aid man, and he will furnish you with earplugs so as to keep you from having a headache. We will not allow any dancing, running up and down the aisle, or crowding up in front of the stage. All these parties will be warned and ejected from the Coliseum.
The Backlash contributed to the Beatles' decision to stop touring altogether. They performed their last official concert on August 29, 1966 at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. The Bigger Than Jesus statement became a defining moment in the Beatles' career, symbolizing the clash between 1960s counterculture and traditional values. It is also highlighted as the perils in global fame and the potential for statements to be misunderstood or taken out of context. John Lennon's Bigger Than Jesus Remark remains a significant episode in the history of the Beatles, reflecting on the tensions and cultural shifts in the 1960s. While it caused substantial controversy at the time, it also underscored the band's enormous influence and the passionate reactions they could provoke across different segments of society. The Beatles' rejection of conformist norms and their embrace of a more open and expressive lifestyle became symbolic of the counterculture movement. So is it controversy or countercultural? Well, it's kind of both. Let me explain. Lennon's More Popular Than Jesus comment was controversial because it offended religious sensibilities and provoked a significant backlash. At the same time, it was countercultural because it challenged traditional authority and reflected the changing values of the 1960s, a decade marked by significant social and cultural shifts. The statement and its aftermath illustrate how intertwined controversy and counterculture were during this transformative period. So this was our first episode into the Beatles, controversy or countercultural, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give me a like, and if you like even more and you want to see more, subscribe. Turn on those notifications so you don't miss out. Thanks for watching. Bye.